Tomorrow's Mother's Day. Let's paint a couple of quick, easy Mother's Day cards. I have my core watercolors, my meat and ceramic mixing palette, and two 100% cotton watercolor cards that I have taped down just to a chalkboard that I get at the Dollar Tree. I will link everything in the description below. You could do this with just a regular piece of watercolor paper that you cut and fold in half. Use what you have. Your mom's going to love it. So I'm going to start with just a little spritz of water. And I'm working with my size 8 round Princeton Velvet Touch brush. I'm going to take some clean water on my brush. And I'm just going to spatter it in on the top part of this card. Just randomly spattering. Now, I'm going to grab some colors. One of my mother's favorite colors is purple. So I'm going to grab purple. And I'm just going to tap this purple in a few locations. And then I'm going to grab maybe a different purple. Definitely dioxazine purple is a much darker purple. Sort of mix that out. Ooh, get some of that out of the brush so we can lighten it up a little bit. I'm not worrying about actual flower shapes here. We're just putting in some marks. All right, how about some pinks? Don't worry about painting flowers. Just pop in some shapes. Just dab in some color. And we'll get a little bit of yellow. I'm going to be careful where I put the yellow. I don't want to touch too close to my purple. That one mixed a little bit with that pink or red, and that's okay. I can come through and give another little spritz. And I don't need to fill this space up too much. And I'm not worried, again, if some of these touch, it'll be okay. Right there, my purple did touch that yellow. When I spritzed it, I'm sure it connected it, but it's fine. While that's drying, I'm going to do something different on this side. I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to wet some petal shapes. There we go. So that one has 5. You can see that. See where it's shining? Okay. And again, just going to come in, grab a color, and this time I'm just going to touch it to the bottom. And I'm going to let that color go. Do its thing. That's it. I'm not going to do anything else, just that. Let's make another. Maybe this one is kind of side. I left a little bit of space. You can see where it's dull. So I left a little bit of space in between. And sometimes it can be hard to see like where you have that water down. Just sort of tip your board or your paper and help you get a better look at it. How about we come back to this purple? This is like a carbazole violet or dioxazine purple. It's PV23. Let's dab some of that in there. We get a little bit more in these. We'll connect those after. Okay. And perhaps one more. Maybe this one. And do thinner petals, kind of like a daisy. I'm going to let that kind of absorb into the paper for a moment. I have a lot of water there. All right, now for a yellow, I'm going to pick a nice warm yellow. Perhaps put like a burnt sienna in the center. And if this spreads, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to let those dry. I want to pull right here out just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Now I'm going to come back over here to this side. This is not completely dry, but it's dry enough for me to continue on. I'm going to get a green, and I'm going to pull down about to here. I want to leave some space. My overall bouquet is going to go to about here, but we're going to start by just pulling down some stems. Up in some of these white spaces, I'm going to bring in some green up there also. And I'm just avoiding touching some of those flowers because some of them are still wet. I had water. I got this. See, I touched the flower there. It's going to run, but again, it's fine. I think I'm going to grab my heat tool and give this a dry. I'm just pulling some of that color back up because it was darker at the bases. And I want it darker up top. Okay. I'm going to give this a dry. And you can see here, some of my color definitely has pooled out. I'm going to try to guide that back to the center. There we go. If you don't have a heat tool or a hair dryer, just pause and wait for them to be dry. Okay, so those are dry enough. And I'm going to come back over here to this one and continue working with my green. I'm just going to pull some greenery out. Different spots on my bouquet. You can do this as much or as little as you like. I like to come back through and sometimes just fill in some of that space with green, some of the open space. Try to make sure that each shape that's out there is connected. You can grab another shade of green just to add some variation. Make our bouquet nice and full. I have a lot of white space here, and I'm just going to fill some of that in. But I do still leave some. So there we go. Anywhere that you feel you need just a little extra pop, just pull out a little greenery, right? Whenever we have bouquets, they always fill them with some greenery. There we go. I can put some lines through some of my flowers, like the stem that comes up that like the little flowers would come off of. You don't have to, you can just leave it plain. I'm going to come to my yellow flowers now. and just give them a tiny bit of detail. Again, I'm going to grab my burnt sienna, and I'm just going to come over and put a couple dots. There we go. That easy. Next, we need to continue our stems down. So using the same colors I've already used, I'm going to leave a space, and then I'm going to pull some more stems down. Or you can pull them up, and it's just going to deposit the color strongest at the top. So it's going to look like shadow under your ribbon. We're going to do that next. I vary them at the length. Without even cleaning my brush, I'm just grabbing the other green. I'm going to bring some of that in as well. Okay, and then pick the color for your ribbon. Again, you can do whatever color you like. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the purple again because, like I said, purple is my mom's favorite color. Just going to come through the bottom of where my stems are. I'm not worried if I leave some white space. It's fine. Pull that down. Now I can come back again and maybe put some lines through here just to make it look like ribbon. It's been wrapped around and tied. There we are. Now I have a nice bunch of wildflowers that I've cut and tied for Mom for Mother's Day. And we can come back and just come over any of these stems. Maybe darken up some of those lines. Add more variation. And there we go. A little bit more that lighter green. Make sure I see some of that down below as well. Okay, I'm happy with that. There we are. Let's come back to this one. I'm going to add some spots in my center there. You know what? Let's try this purple. See how dark that looks. There we go. And maybe while this is on my brush, I'm just going to pull up. And again, you don't have to do this. You could leave it just the way it was. Clean out my brush, tap it off, and pull back some of those marks, which they've already dried. They're pretty set, but that's fine. We're going to come back with some line work on these in a moment. And I'm going to come back with some more of my burnt sienna and just dab in and darken up a few spots here. Maybe even grab a little umber. This is brown umber, one of the new colors from Core. Just dabbing in some dots there. And I'm going to take a lighter warm yellow. And pull in some more petals. Again, you don't have to do this. And I touched my brown there, so I was going to run on that one. There we go. Now I'm going to leave that one alone. I need those to be dry so I can come back with some line work. And I think I'm going to darken up. Get some neutral tint here. And I'm just darkening a few spots. Maybe I'll pull out a few lines on that one as well. Just a little bit from the centers. There we go. Okay, now we could do some green stems, or we could just do the line work, but let's go ahead. Just gonna blend these greens that I already have from over here together. I'm going to be very careful not to touch my yellow, but I'm going to picture that coming down through. There we go. Just tapping a little extra pigment along the right sides of those stems. There we go. There's that one. And we need, this one is just a little bit darker, just to give some variation. Again, I'm going to kind of let them crisscross a little bit. Bring that down. Perhaps it comes, we'll go this way. So if I come down through, it's a little wonky. That's fine. Again, don't worry about them being perfect. There we go. That one gets a little thick, but it's okay. I'm going to darken this one up a little bit more too. Just darkening the green closest to my flower. There we go. Okay, I'm going to leave those be. Now you can do line work, or you don't have to. I'm going to grab my Tombow Food Nasuke. This is the soft tip, so it's the green, the dark green barrel. And this is going to give me variation in line weight. I'm just going to go like this. I don't know what kind of flower this is. We just kind of made it up as we went along. And this one. I'm also not worried about my color being perfectly in the lines. Now for this one, I've got some that are in front. I've got some behind others. There we go. And you can come in with some more dots if you want to for your centers, and even a few lines that are going to come out on the petals. It's all up to you. I think on this one, I'm going to put just a tiny bit, just some really pale purple in some of those spaces. I like that a little better. If you want leaves on your coming off from your stems, or put some leaves in, you can certainly do that. Whatever kind of leaves you want. I think that one's a little dark. So just going to lift some out. There we go. You do not have to get very detailed if you don't want to. I'm just adding some shadow under here to make it look like that leaf comes up and is bending downward. There you go. However you want to do it, add the leaves, don't add the leaves. It's entirely up to you. But there are a couple quick Mother's Day cards. Now all you have to do is write Happy Mother's Day on the front, or just leave them as they are and just write Happy Mother's Day on the inside. Whatever you choose, Mom's gonna love it. Because I lined the rest of this card, I am going to go ahead and put some line work on my stems. This one is in front of that one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to line out around there, just the stem. And I can do my leaf. Let this be thin, get a little thicker as I come down. That's what I love about this pen. It is definitely waterproof. I could have done my line work ahead of time, but this one has a nice soft tip, so you can vary the weight of that line. Down, and this is the rest of that leaf from behind. And that comes in front. There we go. Again, don't worry about being perfect to what you've painted. It doesn't matter if you have some white space. There we go. We forgot the tape peel. It's not as impressive as when we have painted something that fully covers to our border, but it is nice all the same. I am using the Meeden masking. Now, full disclosure, Meeden did send this to me to try it out, and I am loving it so far. It has been releasing so cleanly from any paper that I put it on. And I've used it on cotton paper, I've used it on cellulose paper, and I've really pressed my edges down, and still it's been releasing really cleanly. It is acid-free, pH neutral, and I will link to it below. And there we have it. 2 quick, easy Mother's Day cards. I'll probably leave them just like this and write Happy Mother's Day, hope you enjoy your day, something like that on the inside. And there we go. I just have one more that I have to make. I hope you've enjoyed these. And if you are last minute like me, I hope this gives you some ideas for Mother's Day tomorrow. I'm going to pop another video up right about here that you might like to watch next. In the meantime, my friends, keep creating, and I'll see you in a video real soon. Bye, guys.